Okay, I want my own company, but
Yes.
did you know what you wanted that company to do?
Well, because my whole background, my whole life is teaching and explaining and helping others to be successful, I guess that there was this idea that, well, you know, I know Office, I know Microsoft Office. You know, I'm guessing there's a lot of people out in business that would love to know how to use their software applications more effectively. And so it was quite a smooth transition, really. It was using the teaching skills, but in the business environment to help other people, you know, use these software applications that, you know, what we use like a small percentage of a software application. You know, probably the tip of an iceberg. So, you know, one of the things that I like to do is not necessarily teach people everything, but what is going to be useful to help your business succeed.
And I think we're all guilty of that, aren't we? We sort of, especially what I call the later generations who weren't brought up with computers, but we've migrated to them quite happily.
Yes,
but there's still that element of, well, all I wanted to do is X, Y and Z, and as long as it can do that, and then when we discover that it does something new, we get all excited.
Indeed.
So I can really understand how you turned that into a commercial enterprise. It's really good. So who was your first client? How did that happen?
Well, my first client, actually, if I think about it, it's quite embarrassing. I look back to those early days, the things I didn't know. But it was like act as if, you know, I'm the teacher, I know what I'm talking about. And it was a company off the M25, and they organised the glasses. I don't know, the people that manage all, you know, the car listings, and I was training a group of 6 people how to use a piece of software called Maximizer. And that's like a database, and that's what actually led me on to becoming very fascinated by databases and to be getting into the next phase of my business, where I became a Sage Act trainer and reseller.
Okay.
And
which is the core of your business.
That now is the absolute centre of my business. The Microsoft stuff, I still do bits of that, but primarily I really want to help other businesses manage their contacts, have a place to put those contacts, and most importantly, have a way of keeping in touch with them. So that's what Sage Act does. And really, you know, for me, it's having a bit of software that allows me to connect with people, which is what I love doing anyway, you know, because I'm quite a big connector. I do a lot of networking. And the reason why, in a way, I do a lot of networking is that's the way that replaces all that stuff that I lost from teaching, you know, the support from, you know, the staff room. So, you know, the networks I'm part of, and the Wire network in particular, really helps me as a business owner.
Well, I think, I mean, Wire specifically obviously was set up to help women in rural communities as well, so there's that additional problems that women face when they're operating in rural areas, because you know, they don't have good broadband, good mobile phone signals, they are isolated in a physical sense as well as in a professional sense. So it's even more important to do something like that. So, okay, I'm trying to go with your journey here. You discovered ACT, and that was like an epiphany, that was where you were going.
Yes.
And the training side of that is another big part of what you do, isn't it? It's not just selling on and bye-bye.
No, it's not. And in fact, so this NLP gift was one milestone, if you like, in my life. And then a second milestone was when I met a colleague for lunch at the Greyhound. It's all pub orientated. And we had a lovely lunch, and he suggested, well, why don't I record training videos so that instead of me having to be in front of a group of people and training them, I can sell training videos that sell themselves when I'm not there. And it's such a smart business move, because, you know, we've got a finite amount of time. We really shouldn't be selling our time. We should be selling something else that will sell, you know, will work without us. So I came away from there fired up. That was it, and that was when Better Act Now was formed.
Right.
And I, over the last 4 or 5 years, I've been creating training videos that you know, sell on Amazon, sell on my website, and so people who have got ACT, they want to know how to use it, and they want to know when it's convenient for them, they can buy a CD or download a video from my website.
It's a great name for your company. Did that come to you very quickly, or was that over a period of time?
Sure, no, I can't say that it was me. My lovely husband, this husband has been responsible for one or two things, including 3 kids. He came up with the idea, the name. He said, "Better Act Now." And I thought, wow, that is such a clever name.
You just know, don't you? It's like a eureka moment, yeah.
And so, you know, if you search for Better Act Now, I use that as my moniker on all my social media sites, and, you know, it's a good name. You know, it's very specific to ACT, but you know, and I've broadened my horizons a bit right now. But still, I'll still continue to use that because it's so successful.
Well, you've got one of your CDs there, haven't you? Is that this year's one?
That's this year's. That's ACT 2012, and ACT is software that gets released every year.
Okay.
So in September there'll be ACT 2013, and I'll be locking myself away in my recording studio to record them. And you know, the recording studio is really my small office. Over the summer months when I've recorded these videos, I've had all sorts of problems, not least with squawking seagulls. Let me tell you, they are a problem, particularly when they're nesting down the road.
So your little studio office is not soundproof then?
No, I need egg boxes or whatever, I think, but no, it's not. And I close all the windows, etc. But in the summer it can be quite hot. But
so ACT, you've done for tutorials there for people to help them improve and get better. Any other products that you have got training videos on?
Yes, now I've just recently branched out and produced some Excel training videos. So that's 90 minutes of, you know, lots of shortcuts and tips and how to get the very best from Excel.
It says here 60 insights for busy people. I can see that without my glasses, so I'm not going to try and read anything else off of there.
That's right, and it's all, you know, my voiceover and screenshots of all the tips and how to get the best from Excel. And in the autumn I'm also planning to produce some new training videos, broadening it a bit really to not just be application related but more in general terms. So, you know, what makes for a successful business, the database, the email marketing and the online presence.
Okay.
So all those 3 things I think are crucial. So I'm going to produce a product along those lines. Early days yet.
You're very active on social media though, aren't you? I mean, does that must help you tremendously with your business?
Definitely. I think the best social media platform that I use is YouTube.
Right.
I've got a YouTube channel, and it's mostly, I have to say, it is mostly ACT and Microsoft videos, but if you look closely, there's 1 or 2 other videos that are part of what makes me who I am. I've got me singing on there, and I was in Italy in the summer, walking through some beautiful vineyards in Piemonte, and there's me doing a little running commentary going through the vineyards. So if you look closely, there's a few extras thrown in.
So even when you're away on holiday, you're still working, really, aren't you?
Well, I have to admit, you know, you work for yourself. Can you ever be off duty? I mean, I have a full life, but, you know, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm thinking business stuff all the time. And we had this quite a long train journey down to Italy, and I read a small book on the way down on that train journey. And it is so brilliant, this book, and I'm going to be blogging about it because I think it's changed the way I do business. And one of the things I was thinking, well, I'll do a few short little videos when I'm there, and then I'll have a total holiday. So I did. I did the video recording in the first couple of days, and that was it then.
Oh, right, okay. Then you could switch off.
I did switch off.
The rest of the holiday.
I did.
Because I know you also did some in the States when you were on holiday there, didn't you?
I did. You know, there's a marketing guru, and his name is Chris Cardell, and he always has these little video clips with the backdrop of the San Diego beach behind him, and these little snippets of you know, his marketing tips. And I thought, you know, I could do that. So I've got my own version of marketing tips from California, and I did have the beach behind me. Sorry, Chris, but actually he was the inspiration.
I guess you could do it with any. I mean, we're so lucky and blessed in Suffolk with some wonderful places. You could pick a different place every time, couldn't you? And if that's going to be your,
I need to do that. Open to suggestions.
That's right. I mean, here in Felixstowe, of course, we've got the Spa Pavilion, the pier. We've got beautiful seafront. I mean,
Giving me the idea. That'll be the next lot.
And something that is quintessentially Felixstowe, like I don't know, Manning's Amusements or the Martello Towers.
Oh, I love that area. We often walk around there in the Felixstowe docks, the entrance, all the the huge container ships coming in.
So there you go. You can make a bit of a feature of some of the Felixstowe landmarks.
Watch this space. Check out that YouTube channel, Elene Marsden.
Excellent. Well, I know aside from networking, you also voted the most loved business last year by, what was the name of the website?
Well, actually, it was this year. I am the best loved business in Ipswich 2012, as voted by the Best of Ipswich, which is a franchise. It's an online organisation. And, that was a journey. That was a big journey this year, because I actually made a decision that I was going to be the best loved business. And I just went about then, taking steps.
NLP at work again, is it?
Yeah. It's a bit scary, because in actual fact, when you think about it, it was hard work, but I'd set my intent. And it makes you think, well, what could you all achieve if you set your intent on things? So it was that I was going to be best loved, and I've got a database. I've got quite a few people on my database, and I just sent them emails and I just asked them, please vote for me, and this is how you do it. And I didn't just ask them once, I have to admit. I asked them 3 times, and it did pay off.
So how many testimonials were you able to collect then?
Overall, I got 120, I believe it was, of fantastic testimonials. People were just willing to help me.
And it was almost neck and neck at the end. It was quite a photo finish, wasn't it?
It was a scary one. I had, Michael Richards, we were neck and neck, we had John Oliver into the fray as well, and I thought, how am I going to compete with these guys? They've got premises, they've got staff, and it's me. It's me and my database, And I think, the database won, but also I have got a little secret that
I've seen your secret, but I think
is it all right? Can I bring these out? Because this was my secret marketing tool. Yes. Not only did I have the database, but I had these shoes, my marketing slippers. I went out networking, I wore those slippers, and let me tell you, people remembered me.
They sure did. Especially when you clicked them together and said, there's no place like home, I would imagine.
So thanks for these slippers, they did pay off, and it's been great publicity as well. But it just goes to show that the business that I'm in, which is managing your database, keeping in touch with people with email marketing, really does pay off. And I use something called Swift Page, which is a great tool. You can see who's opened, who's clicked on your messages, and every time I use it, I get results, whether it's a sale, or people just saying, thanks, that was a really good tip, or just thanks for keeping in touch, we like to hear from you.
And isn't that how this new modern marketing is going now? I mean, it used to be before that you would be very secretive about sharing information or contacts or anything like that, and it's now the complete opposite, isn't it?
Absolutely. So I think now you've got to kind of give everyone everything.
That's right, because they can get it anyway.
They can get it, and also, if you give it, people think, well, that's that, but actually, can you do it for me?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yes, I totally believe in that. And the other thing is that you've got to have this solid online presence, because people want to search and find out about you. It's no longer a case you call people up and say, this is me, this is what I do. People find you. They go and find out who is that person that's offering that product.
And I think that's a challenge for some people, isn't it? They want to embrace social media, but they don't really understand how they're going to... Well, and they say, well, I think I've got a personality, but nobody's interested in what I've had for tea or dinner or something. So there's a big journey that people have to go on to see how it fits into their big marketing mix that they've got.
And it's a huge area. There's so many different sites, and, you have to find the right one for your business. And for me at the moment, I'm focusing on LinkedIn because I work business to business, so that seems to me to be the best channel to focus on. It's early days yet, but we'll see. I'm building up those contacts, 900 at the moment, and counting, so we'll see.
All right. So let's come back to your sons for a moment and just have any. What ages are they?
Well, I've got a son who's 27. In fact, I was with him yesterday. It was my birthday last month, so I went up to London, met up with him, and he took me to Fortnum and Mason for high tea. It's great when they get to that stage when it's all payback. So we had a lovely afternoon, and then we went to the South Bank and just sipped a cider and just watched the people. So that's one son who lives in London. Then I've got a second son who's 26 who lives in Ipswich. Now he's got mental health issues and struggles with life, but on the other hand, he's a lovely person, and I'm very proud of him. And then my youngest is in Holland at the moment.
Oh, wow.
He's my musician. So when he's in the house, it's music all the way. We've got like a tiny little dining room which has got a Hammond organ in it and a piano. And at the moment, they're just lying silent.
He's the only one with the musical...
Yeah, but he makes up for all of us. Well, I think I like to sing. I mean, I'm Welsh, so...
Of course. You're naturally gifted.
Now, whether I can sing in tune, but it doesn't matter. So, yes, I've got 3 sons, and they're lovely. They're all different, and they've all got their own journeys, and very proud.
So the sons that are working in London and Holland, what are they working at?
Well, the one who's in London is working for BP.
Oh,
he's just been headhunted, and so he's, very, very happy with his life at the moment, and possibly in about a year's time he'll be going on to work abroad, and so life will open up for him. And the younger one, he's got one more year to do in universities in Newcastle, Geordieville. He loves it up there. Well, how he's going to cope from Holland going back to Newcastle in September, I don't know, but he's still studying. So
all these different places. I haven't asked you whether your boys have got a Welsh accent or a Suffolk accent.
Oh, yeah, well, that's true. Well, the younger one may even have a Geordie twang.
I was going to say.
I hope so, because that's my favourite accent, actually. But no, they're not. They haven't got Welsh accents.
They haven't.
Although that said, though, there's one or two words that they all say, like the word year, how many years? They say that with a Welsh accent. So there's one or two things that have been drilled into them with the upbringing, I suppose.
Well, I think they learn by osmosis, don't they? And they're just some things that are ingrained from such an early age.
Yeah, indeed.
Or year.
Yeah. Such early years. Early years.
So the next stage of your business is this expansion into the
training.
The other training,
yeah. So I will. Obviously, at the minute, it's quite a long way off yet because I've got to create the product. But in terms of other business women in the community, there's lots of support and advice that we've got from our solid network, particularly in Wire. So I always believe that ideas come from other people. And there's nothing new in actual fact, so just be out there and be open. I've got this amazing video that I often will send out to people that I meet. It's called The Money Tree, and it's on YouTube, and it's this tree that somebody has filled with dollar bills, and they just left it full of these dollar bills, and people walk by and they don't notice these dollar bills. They just walk by. Well, they glance and they think no, and they carry on walking. And it's that kind of idea that I think these opportunities are all around us if we'll only just open up our eyes and see them. So,
I've seen that video. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah,
brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the music that goes with it. So it's The Money Tree. Check that out.
And YouTube itself, of course, the second biggest search engine now.
Well, this is it. So if you've got anything that you can share and record, and it doesn't have to be done professionally, get a flip camera, just record what it is you know, put it onto YouTube, put the key search words down, link back to your website, and that is a really great way of generating traffic to your business.
Interesting. Now, he's not here today, but one of my dogs, Presto, we took them down to Nacton Beach yesterday, and it was really muddy and filthy from all the rain we've been having.
Yes.
And I didn't have my camera with me, but I did have, I was able, 7 seconds of a really muddy dog running all the way up and act and be. Are you saying if I put that onto my YouTube channel, people would play?
Yeah, I think they would, and then particularly if that dog walked across some carpets and made a mess of the house, you could then be going in saying, we've got the solution to this.
Get one of my cleaners in.
Absolutely. The before and after. Perfect. There's always opportunities.
Yes, always. And I think, and this is why I think having that sort of network of like-minded people around you. I mean, you know, we work from home because we choose to, because it fits in with our chosen lifestyles and our other commitments. We don't want to work in an office anymore. We're quite happy to go to clients or wherever, but we want control of our lives. But we also want to take advantage of other opportunities as they present themselves. Yes. And I like to think with Wire as well, my mission with opening the Ipswich branch almost 2 years ago now was that people would have a safe place that, you know, like-minded women, they would learn something at the end of every evening, something that they didn't know before they came, and that they'd have fun.
Absolutely.
You know, you working on your business should be fun, otherwise it's just a job. And you might as well just go and get a job. That's my philosophy anyway.
And the Wire meeting, Ladies at Lunch, great venue.
Oh, I know.
Bar, you know, there's clothes, there's chocolates. I mean, there's died and gone to heaven.
We've had Sheila on that couch as well before now, telling us about her journey and how they got to that stage. And I found it really interesting that people have to explore so many other things before they finally settle into, no, I can bring all that together and actually my own company now does this because you brought all those other skills together. So are there any challenges particularly that are looming in front of you at the moment?
Well, just the new recording of Act 2013. Obviously, I'll have to learn the new features, so that's the first learning curve. And how I normally tackle a project like that is I see it as a big mountain, you know, and I'm just going to start on that journey, climbing up that mountain until I get to the top. I won't stop until I get to the top.
And this is also particularly relevant because last year you climbed 3 mountains, didn't you?
I did. I was asked if I'd like to take part in the 3 Peaks Challenge, and I said, well, you know, what charities are you doing it for? And they said, we haven't decided yet. So I said, well, if you do it for a mental health charity, I'll do it. The next day they said, we're doing it for Mind. So, you know, there was no... down. I kind of got myself in a corner. So I did this 3 Peaks Challenge with 6 guys and me. And that was a journey and a half because, you know, the training for a year, the experience was unbelievable. It was really hard, the hardest thing I'll ever do. But, you know, one of these things, you know, with life, you know, you've got to set yourself challenges.
I should imagine after the NLP course, your bucket list got a lot longer anyway. So at least you've managed to tick that.
There's a few crossed off, yeah. Although I nearly ended up walking across the top of the Millennium Dome on Sunday, because instead of Fortnum and Mason's tea, my son was going to take me across the top of that, but it was full. Thank God.
Full. Well, we usually like to finish up by asking our guests to share a little known fact about them, something we wouldn't find on a CV for Elene Marsden, something that you might like to share with your viewers.
Okay. Well, one of the things that I've done I'm very proud of, I have studied a lot of Tony Robbins' teachings, and I went on one of his courses, which ended up me going to Florida. And the first thing we did at the beginning of this 5-day course, I mean, this is like within the first hour, we all had to kit up, walk up to the top of a telegraph pole, 50 foot, and jump off the top of it.
Oh my goodness!
So I'm like thinking, I've always got that in the back of my mind. If you can't, you must. And just go for it, because life is so short, and don't give up on any opportunities that come your way.
Wow, so you're leaping off of tall telegraph poles
as well. I'm not going to do it again.
Elene, if someone wants to get in touch with you after viewing this show, what would be the best way to do that?
I think the best way would be to connect with me on LinkedIn or Facebook. I've got a Facebook business page. Loads of ways of connecting, on my websites. Better Act Now.
Better Act Now, I think, is the real key, because people are going to remember that. Because, of course, Elene is spelt the Welsh way, not the...
Well, it's E-L-E-N-E.
Yes.
So
could be the French way as well.
French,
yes.
yeah. My mother, her best friend was French, so that's where the name comes from.
Elaine, thank you very much for sharing your journey today.
Oh, thanks, Sue.